so I think that that's all that I have to give. If you have any questions, just let me know then. Okay. There, 6 minutes. She has everything she needs. Very thorough, very considerate.
What? A 6-minute voicemail? Is she serious?
I could have typed this out, but this is so much more personal. She'll appreciate this.
Great. Now I gotta try to find a quiet place to listen to this. What the heck?
She hasn't opened yet. Probably just busy. She's going to love the context that I gave her on the Henderson account.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Henderson account? Wait, what the heck? Okay, hold on. I just have to see. Did we move the meeting or something? Like, get to it already.
Yep. This is what good communication looks like.
Oh my God. There. That's thumbs up. That's all she's getting.
Hi.
Oh my God. That skit really, I can absolutely relate to that skit. Oh my God. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sanity Pending Podcast. I'm Holly. This is Amber. And today we are talking about digital etiquette. And, you know, I see this topic similarly to personality quirks, which we covered in a previous episode, where we kind of talked about, you know, multiple generations of people all working together in the same office and how that can be challenging at times. Is that the nice way to put it? And I think like one of the things with digital etiquette too is like everybody learned digital etiquette differently depending on their age or maybe their workplace culture, right? Like some cultures are like, you don't use emojis. Like that's crazy. Like that's not professional. And like other ones, it's like, if you don't see the emoji, you're like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean? So like there's really no standard universal guide. Or is there? Like, I'm kind of curious, Amber, like, do you think that there's a right and a wrong when it comes to digital etiquette? I'm kind of curious your take on this.
I mean, from a personal perspective, yes.
Yeah, okay. And like, and they're definitely different between like your personal and like a workplace setting too. Like I see them, like I have different rules for both, like rules, yes. Like I say that very loosely.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And the way that I react to some of these situations, let's just call them situations. Yeah. Like maybe it's kind of like imparting how I want to interact with the world. And so there really isn't, like, I know that there isn't any kind of, this is the way that you do things, report or guide to your point to back me up. But because I feel so strongly about it based off of the reaction that I have, that I'm like, this should be somewhere encoded that you don't do this to people, right? Like, and so is it real? No. Is it real for me? Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, Amber, it makes me think of that one video that you shared with me on, I can't remember if it was like Instagram or whatever, but it was like somebody just typed a message that just said, hey. And then it showed like all these different people, how they interpreted just a hey message in their Slack. It's like some people were like, oh, I know what they want. And they just started like, there was nothing else, just a hey. Somebody was like, I know what they're like, you know, prodding for. Like, I'll give them their stuff. And then there was another one like, hey, they're not typing anymore. What do they want? What do they mean? And then somebody else was just like, whatever. And like went out, like left their desk and like went somewhere. So it really reminds me of that. Like there are some things that you just don't do. And like for me, the hey thing and nothing else. And I can't see that you're still typing. I would never do that to somebody. I give you the whole thing in one message, like right away. Yeah. I mean, that's just me though.
But because of your reaction to it, response, you know, that it says that is important for you. Yeah. But it's interpreted completely different. And someone else might have somebody that writes, hey, and is unbothered. And they're like, yeah, I'm just going to ignore that until they give me something. Yeah. I'm just like, going to respond to that.
Yes.
Hey, what? Right?
And
like,
it matters who's saying it too, right? Like it'd be totally different if you just said, hey, I'd be like, hey, she just like, we're just catching up. Versus somebody, versus I'd be like, what do they want? They want something from me. You know, it matters who's doing it too.
It does, for sure. It does. But it also feels like this, like as if it wasn't already hard enough, like to work with people in general, right? And just different personalities. But then to add this extra layer, it feels like a nasty little game and no one knows the rules. And
nobody knows. That's true.
So each individual comes with their own set of rules and then they enforce those rules in different ways. And then I think it comes into this clash, and digital etiquette is this just prime environment.
100%.
Because
100%.
There are no rules. There are no rules.
Yeah.
None. And we are all just making them up. And so then it becomes, as previous conversations that we've had, then it becomes more of that difference of, is this a preference or is this a boundary?
Yeah, it's very closely related.
Some people bring it up to the boundary level. Like, you are crossing a line for me, right? And then others are like, that's just a preference. Like, I'm going to tell you these are the ways that I'm pretty easygoing unless you do this, right? And then I get really annoyed. And so I have seen the reaction that people have to some of these digital etiquette faux pas. And they have come with those different ways of handling them. So we're like, you will not do that to me. Right?
Yeah.
Versus, that sucks when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I would say for me, like, one of the biggest ones was probably like response time, like how long it takes somebody to respond to like a message. Because there's a difference for me between response times at work and response times personal. Like, in my personal, I know, like, everybody that I want to communicate with, they all have something going on. And I'm like, hey, I'll get a response when I get a response. I don't care if it says my message has been read or not. I don't find that offensive. Yet when I'm at work, I'm like, my message hasn't been read. What the heck? What is, Bob doing over there or whatever? Like, right? You know what I mean? Or like, I send something that I'm like, hey, this is time sensitive. Here's this thing. And like, I don't sense the urgency in return. Like, that always kind of got on my lit a fire under me, and it kind of made me a little like, I don't like working with these people, like, these certain individuals who just can't pick up the tone, right? And I always felt like I was really careful too. Like, if it was something that I needed, I didn't waste time. I didn't do the pleasantries. I sent like, hey, time sensitive request here. Here's what I need. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. Let me know if you've got questions. But like, I want something that says received or whatever. Like, I want a confirmation that you've not heard, like only heard me, but you're, I'm working on it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, those were things that I'm like, I feel like, is that just like a polite thing? Like, I always felt like that's just manners. Like, that's not an edit. Like, you just had, like, you don't have good manners. Like, I don't know. Am I being too sensitive? Like, I don't know what your take is on some of these things.
Ooh, no, what an interesting question. Because so when I think of manners, though, I think of things that you would have been taught. That this is how it, like, and so in a personal, right? Like, I learned manners in my home life, right? Or with friend, or like, you don't behave that way in public kind of thing. But they were instructions that were given to you, right? And you kind of saw the consequences of that, or kind of got the lens to look at people who maybe had manners versus not have manners. Yeah. And so that assumption then, to me, to call it manners is then implies that they've learned it. And I don't think that anybody has learned. I mean, we have learned amongst ourselves, right? Yeah. What those manners are. But like, to your point, we haven't had technology around long enough for there to be, this is the way that you interact with it. Whereas our human manners, we've been human a lot longer than we've had technology and working in societies together, that there does seem to be this sense of societal rules, society manners, like that encompass like how you treat others, how you, like golden rule type, kind of behaviors that are, and I just don't feel like we don't have enough information and experience in this area and arena that we are somehow building those
that's fair in terms of like, if it's somebody that you don't know, but like going back to like we know, like you and I both know some people who are like had very strong boundaries regarding like communication via like technology. Right. Yes, and then like some of the like no cold call thing, like, and also just like calling in, who calls anymore? I'm sorry. Just like, that's why I have my phone on do not disturb like almost 100% of the time. Cause I'm like, I don't want to mess with it. Like I talk when I'm ready to talk, but like, so I feel like I've communicated in like my preferences regarding like how I prefer to communicate and stuff. And it's like, sometimes I wonder if people know those preferences and ignore it because they're like, well, that's not how I like to communicate. So I'm not going to accommodate your preferences and and they don't want to make all these different accommodations for all these people that have all these different preferences. And they're just like, I'm just going to communicate the way I communicate. And I'm just like, oh man, that's just like, you're just waiting for something to happen here. You know what I mean? Like, but I can accommodate, but I feel like there are a lot of people who don't want to accommodate. Do you know what I mean? And that's, I think, where I'm like, is that rude? Is it rude when you know somebody has a preference and you've just decided, like, I know you don't like to be cold called, or I know you sent me something, you said urgent, like it had like the red fire alarm thing and you're like urgent, and I didn't give you a response back. And not only did I not give a response back, I saw it come up over here, but I didn't click on the screen. So it like shows red and it just looks like I haven't even seen it. Like, I know that's going to make you angry. And I'm going to let that happen anyway. Like, is that rude? Because me, I'm thinking that is rude. Like, so rude. Okay, Amber, do you have anything like that for you where you're just like, this enrages me to the point where I'm like, my face is red and I'm gonna have to address this or something. Like, what about for you? Because like, maybe that's not your thing. Like, but do you have a line like that for you where it comes to like, the digital stuff? Like, what for you?
Yeah, you mentioned it. It's cold calling. and like, and this is a very clear difference for me between work and personal. In personal, anybody in my personal life, if they need to call me, they can call me. Fine. That's not, to me, like we already have the rapport. At work, no. Because there are, no.
Yeah. Like, no, hard no.
I will not answer. You have so many other ways to communicate with me.
Yes.
And you choose the one that secures every bit of my time and attention to give you the preference that you want in taking my time. And in a world that I worked in, that I was so committed to things, like I had to plan my time out so strictly. Like, I'm going to be doing this. Like
serious blocks. Like, I'm doing this and now I'm doing this and that. Yes.
And and because I have so many deadlines, and cold calling interrupts that flow, interrupts that my ability to time manage. Like, so add it to the queue. That's an email or that is an IM. And to your point, if it comes in as urgent, then I still have the time. Like, I still get the choice of, can I interact with that right now? Can I not? And so, like, I really hate cold calling. I really hate it. And so, like, it enrages me. Like,
understandably, that's
rage.
That's a big one.
But it is also a preference. And there are a lot of individuals who, and I definitely respect those who have a disability of some sort, that it is really difficult for them to be able to type out messages. And that would have been a conversation that I would have known to know that if this individual is calling me, then it's the same thing as, but that is a case by case basis. And so I think that we're talking in these general sense. And so there's not but see, that's me understanding and having a conversation about, right? And so I think that it is just that
to accommodate
general,
you. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But the choice is still there. I could still see that this individual is trying to call me and I'll be like, that is still a hard no. Like, but I don't have a moment in the time that they do. And then I will call them back and cold call them. Because they like the calls, right? Like, and so, like, or at least a preface before you call. I have something I'd like to talk to you about involving this. Do you have time for a call? That's not a cold call. We can still have the call.
All right. Well, Amber, then what about this? If somebody just says, hey, and you say, hey, and then they just call you right then. I mean, technically, they like made sure you were at your desk. They like have your attention and they're like, now I want to talk. Like, what about that? Is that like, so that is also cold calling in your opinion? That is like, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious.
An agreement, Holly. It's an agreement.
I see what you're saying. Understand.
Right?
Understand.
Like,
it's not just that you have my attention. It's more than that. Yes.
Yes. And just because my bubble is green does not mean that makes me infinitely available to whatever need. That does not reflect
That's why I stopped
that
letting
I
being
am
green. Yeah. I was red all the time because I was like, that was the only way I could communicate to people. Like, you can't just like pop in and pop in my stuff and like expect me to like, do whatever. Like, it was the only way I could communicate that. Yeah.
I got the sense that a green bubble was read as I'm just sitting at my desk doing
waiting for work.
Just waiting for work. Just waiting. And this is what a green bubble means.
Yes.
No.
I know. No. Oh my God. So that gets me thinking too. Like, what about so I never did this thing. Like, if I was in an email, I had proper punctuation, I had proper spelling, I had like all the, I was really careful when I sent an email because it felt more important than like an IM, when I'm sending stuff. So I didn't care about capitalization unless it was like an acronym or something. So you knew I was talking about a specific thing. Like, does that kind of stuff bother you? Like, do you think like there needs to be etiquette or like the same rules applied to email versus like IMs? And like, what about punctuation? And like, can you use emojis in emails? But no, that's only for like instant messages. Like, do you have like any rules, or when you receive a message and it's in one of these formats, like, do you expect to see it in a certain way for it to be professional for you? No. Yeah. No. Me either. I was pretty like, okay with whatever. Yeah. But I know some people were not.
Correct. And to the, yes. And so like two things with that would be that I just need to know what you need from me or what you need to communicate. I don't care how you do it. Yeah, and same. So I just like, I'm just trying to get to the like efficiency route, just get to the ask, right? So what is it? I don't care how it's done. I don't care that you misspelled a word. Like if it's problematic, then I will return a question and be like, what is that word meant to be? Right.
Sure.
Help me like
they'll use an acronym I've never seen before, and then it turns out it's like a street acronym, not like like something that would be in our handbook. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what system is this? Like, what's this? And they're like, oh, I meant like, and I'm trying to. Oh, that's how I found out shake my head. That's how I found out what shake my head was. And I was like,
yes,
I'm like schmuh. What the heck is schmuh? Like, I didn't know what that was. Like, that's how I found out what that was. So yeah.
So I don't have a problem with it, but I have worked with individuals that they took that very seriously to the point
seriously
to the point that, and I'm not exaggerating here, I got pulled aside and reprimanded for sending an email that did not have the correct positional authority ordered properly in the email.
Like in the to line, it wasn't like,
yes,
you have got to be kidding me, Amber.
Not
got to be kidding me.
By like the director must always be first if you're sending it,
insane.
And they must list it. And I'm like, what?
That's so crazy. That is like, somebody flexing. Yeah, that's insane. Oh, that really enrages me, actually.
Because I'm like, you are taking away from the point of the message. Right. I doubt anybody went and looked at that to line to find out. If they did, they just went to look to see who else got this message.
Yeah. I very rarely
just
looked
another information point.
Yes. Yeah.
Not
that's
like
crazy, Amber.
Who else is getting this information, right?
Oh my God.
But I got reprimanded.
That's so insane. I guess I'm just a little blown away by how far things have come. And also the things that we fixated on, especially early on, and like things that we just like don't care about anymore. Like I said, like in instant messages, like my I is lowercase, like, you know what I mean? Like different things like that. It's funny. I don't know. I feel perfectly comfortable communicating in a digital world, but I know not everybody is. I'm also completely fine asking people, what did you mean by that? And that doesn't feel awkward to me. So like, I never have to overthink. Like sometimes I'm not going to say I never overthink tone. Sometimes I overthink tone in digital like messages and stuff like that. But most of the time I'm comfortable enough to say, I'm not sure what you meant by this. Like, could you explain, like, I need more information, or could you explain this? You know what I mean? I'm okay doing that.
I've even heard it extended to like phrasing that's used as well. Yeah. So I wonder if you've had this experience as well. So I have been called out. Now, this is in my personal life, but I wonder if it has also happened in professional world, is that there's a phrase that I use a lot that's no worries. I say no worries a lot.
I say that
so
a
when
lot
somebody,
too. Yeah.
right, like no worries. And I am meaning it to be like, don't trouble yourself with the stress of thinking through all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. So I want to relieve you of that burden as well. Like, and
Yes.
so like, I'm just letting you know, you are not inconveniencing me. You are like, whatever it is that you might think that you're doing, no worries. Like,
Yeah,
I just let the worry go. Like, we're all
Yeah.
good. And no worries, no problem. Even,
Yeah.
right? Like they're
Yeah.
in that same line. And I know someone who has a real hard time with that. They're like, what do you mean no problem? What do you mean no worries? Like, I didn't ask you to worry about it. I didn't like, so why are you giving me a response that has no connection at all to the ask, or that like, it feels like that's a lazy way of responding. No worries, no problem, right? They're like, what do you mean
That
no
sounds
problem?
aggressive, Amber.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what else you want me to say? That's what I say. Like, and it's so ingrained in how I respond. Like, it's like, no worries, you know, like I like,
because that's
really?
that's how I would verbally communicate. So sometimes I say things the same way that I would like have a verbal conversation with you, and no worries is definitely one of them. And it's always understood to be like, oh yeah, like no, and maybe because I have a facial expression with it, I'm like, I don't know, like, what the heck? I don't know. That's weird.
I guess it is not. It is taken. This is the explanation, right? It is taken as you're not addressing the specifics of what I have, right? So if it is like, can you do this thing, right? And it might be, not a problem. I got you. That's a yes. That's an affirmative.
Yeah, I got
and they were like,
I interpret no problem as I've got it. Yeah, me,
correct.
same.
And this is not interpreted as I got this. Yes, they're looking for an affirmative. Yes, I will do the thing that you are acknowledging what the request is, and that no problem is kind of, they read it as, oh, but it could have been a problem. It could have been, because it could have been, right? But it's not. I got you, right? Like it's, I will do the thing. It is a yes.
Man.
And
that makes me think of like all those people who are like, English is so complicated because like you not only do you have all these various spellings and like the rules for how you do like, you know, pronounce certain words that are like together is like different across words, but it's also this, right? This miscommunication, misunderstanding, misinterpretation, where it's like, I said problem, but it's no problem, but all they see is problem. They're like, well, what's the problem? Like, what are you troubled by? What are you, whatever? It makes me think of that analogy where like people just find English in general to be a very complicated like language. And I would have to agree.
Yes. And
it's complicated.
Yes. And on this vein of affirmative, I will tell you that my husband and I, we have like an internal struggle with the word sure, because when I hear the word sure, it is layered with like Midwestern guilt and shame of like, sure, like it's kind of a hardship for me, but sure. Right. You know, like I
would never have thought that. What? Really?
Sure. I'll do that. Yeah. Like, and so
but
sure
now that I hear
is kind of a loaded
the
word.
Tone. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but here in New England, sure is another way to say yes. And I hear it and I'm like, well, why didn't you just say yes? Like, why do I have to go through the anguish of hearing sure when you were like, did you want to say yes? Or do you feel compelled to say, right? Like, and so I go through this. So I always ask him, I was like, is that a Massachusetts shore? And so he's like, mine is always a Massachusetts short, right? Because I'm from Massachusetts. And so I'm like,
oh my God, that is so hysterical.
That's me
so funny.
Who has the problem, because I hear sure as I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to do it for you. So sure. Right?
Oh man. Oh, Amber, that is hysterical. Oh my God. I can't. And like, because I know both of you, like I can like absolutely see that where it's like, yeah, sure. And it like totally unbothered. And you're like, sure. Like Massachusetts, sure. Like I just see like, you're like, wait a minute.
Yes.
I can totally picture that conversation.
So I'm like, can you? And he continues to use it. And so, like, to your earlier point of he knows that this bothers me, and he continues to do it. So is it rude? that he continues to say sure because he knows
that's the etiquette part, right? I don't
the pain
know
that it causes me, or does he just continues to double down into how he understands the word, and I need to adjust to go, who is the speaker? And so like, is it rude? But I'm now really curious because now, Holly, I feel like you, in this example, how does this apply to your earlier situation where if somebody knows that you have this preference at work and they continue to kind of root in?
I know.
Right? You're going to still take it as they know this thing about me and they're intentionally doing it to make me mad. When the reality is, it's probably not intentional at all, right?
Okay, and this is where I really distinguish digital communication versus verbal communication. Because digital, I have some time to think. It doesn't require an immediate gut response, like, natural response out of me. Sure is a natural response. Like that would be something I would say instinctually without thinking. Whereas like when I'm reading a message, I'm like, okay, this is coming from Amber. I know she likes these things. Let me give her some more context before I send this message. Do you know what I mean? Or like whatever. Or I'm like, oh, this is somebody I know who's very sensitive. I'm going to maybe put an exclamation point and a little smiley face at the end because I know who I'm talking with here. Like I communicate I don't communicate the same. Okay. And somebody has said this to me before too. They're like, you are not as jovial as you are in email or as you are in text, because I use a lot of exclamation points. I use a lot of heart. I always heart people's comments. I always like but then when I'm talking, it's very like this, right? And I am expressive, but if we're not face to face, you don't see that. So you hear sort of this, like, I don't want to say monotone because I think I have a nicer voice than that, but like you hear like a very like matter of fact tone, I guess, you know what I mean? So I've been told, they're like, oh, like people who I met at work who like, we only knew each other like through whatever. And they're like, oh, you're not like what I expected. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So I don't know. I don't communicate verbally with a bunch of exclamation points, but I do, and I make accommodations digitally. Sometimes I don't think because I do like my natural gut response.
But you're changing how you would respond based, right? Like based off of that individual.
Yes, I do. Those known preferences, I try to accommodate for those if I know them. Yeah, I do. And that's where my like manners comes in, and where I question people who know that like, I sent you a 5-alarm fire like emoji and you didn't even have the courtesy to read my thing. That bothers me. And you know that bothers me. Rude people.
You play a game?
I do want to play a game.
In lieu of a story time from a listener, we're going to change it up a little bit and we're going to play a little digital etiquette game that I like to call Polite or Not.
Polite or Not. Love that.
Polite or Not. And so how this is going to work is that I'm going to read a scenario. There is no right or wrong answer. So this is not a game. I
needed to know the rules. Okay, good to know. Yeah, no right or wrong answer. So I'm not going to be humiliated. Okay, great.
This is a game where everyone can win or everyone can lose depending on how you read. Depending on how these land with you. I'm not even going to say react or respond, how these scenarios land with you. And then what I'm going to do is then I'm going to then offer an explanation from the two perspectives that exist in the scenario to help offer context. Again, not right or wrong, but just to hear how you initially feel about it first. Let it sit. And so welcome to Polite or Not.
Okay. Yes. Big money, big money, big money.
Okay, so big money. All right, let's see if any of these cause murder in you, right?
Okay, like, yes. Oh, I'm so excited.
Woo! Okay. All right. Ready?
Polite or Not. Yes, I love these. I love these cards. Yes.
Right? They are massive. So, because these are massively big, maybe faux pas for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, your coworker sends you a calendar invite. Okay. No title. No agenda, no description, just a 30-minute block on a Tuesday. Polite or Not?
No, not. Okay, wait a minute. I get also that I don't know the context because I'm like, okay, who is it? Right? Like, because it does also matter who it is.
Just says coworker.
Not okay. I am not okay. I'm not okay with any calendar invite that doesn't also include like a brief description of like why I need to meet with you. That title is not enough. I need a brief. an agenda would be nice. I'm not demanding an agenda, but I need at least a sentence or two description.
Okay.
Yes.
But why?
Minimum.
Why?
Because I need to know, I cannot go, and this is a me thing, I cannot go into a verbal conversation with somebody without being prepared. I need to what are we talking about? Okay, let me refresh my memory on that account. Let me go through my notes of whatever it is that we've talked about last. And so I can come prepared for a conversation. If it's all done in email, great. I have time to research and do stuff. But if it's on the fly and I don't have that, then I feel like I failed a call with somebody. You know what I mean? I feel like there's almost like there's a score to be kept. Like, oh, well, you come across like you knew this better than me, but you were prepared. I was not, because you didn't give me anything to prepare for. Almost like I need to win the conversation. I know. I don't need to win. I don't need to win. Like, that came across funny, but it's not a competition. But it's I need to be prepared. I don't like to sit there and just be like, yeah, I know we talked about something, but I can't remember what. I don't like that. That makes me feel unprofessional, I guess. Unprofessional, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ready for some context?
I need some context because I'm a little ugh.
Right. I know. Okay. So the sender. Yeah. This coworker, right? Their context is, I'm being efficient and I don't want you to feel pressure, right?
Not helpful.
And then you as the receiver, kind of it could be interpreted as, I'm about to be fired.
Yeah, especially depending on the person. If it's with HR, I'm definitely getting fired.
And there's nothing, they don't have anything that they can share with you, right? Because what if it's right? And so
I think worst case scenario. Oh my God, Amber. Yeah, worst case scenario. Ooh, I didn't like this one. Ooh. Do we have a better one? This one kind of gave me gross.
Right. All right. Second scenario.
Yes, I'm ready.
Your manager texts you a work question at 9 p.m. with a no rush, just whenever you get a chance closing, right?
Man, see, again, okay, I wish these were a little easy because I'm which manager? Because there are some managers I'd be like, that is not polite. I know what they meant by this. But then there are other managers who I could totally see and I'd be like, okay, yeah, I know they mean what they say. This isn't some people say stuff, but they don't mean it. And those people and you respond accordingly. Oh man, but my gut thing is that's not polite.
These are not the warm fuzzies.
No, I was thinking this was going to be they said thanks, period, versus thanks, exclamation point or so. I thought it was going to be something easy. All right, I need context. What's the context on this one? This one's not sitting well with me either.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like I would want context as well, meaning that am I also reading this at 9 p.m. or am I reading it the next morning? Right. So to me, it's the time. And so it doesn't matter that the manager, I don't treat managers really any different.
Really? Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're still coworkers to me, right? And so.
Interesting.
So
you focused on the time. See, in the time.
I focused on the time. And
the time only matters depending on who it is for me.
Also reading it at 9 p.m., which invites the question, what you doing at work at
something
9
to be said
right?
about the burnout and the workload issues going on over there that you're working at 9 o'clock, or assuming 9 o'clock is not your normal work hours, right? Yeah.
Correct. Yes. That this is outside of your working hours. Yeah. And so and closing it, no rush. So I would say that the context is they're assuming you're not going to read this until the next day. And so they just want it to be added. And so I would look at that. I considered this one fine. This one's okay for me because it was their choice to send it at 9 p.m. They have shared that this is no rush whenever you get a chance. They just wanted to take it. Yeah, they just want to get it off of their list to make sure that it got to mine. And so then I add it to my list and I still have the flexibility to get it done. So this one doesn't aggravate me because I'm just going to assume my own context here, as you can do, dear listener, as well, right? And this one doesn't feel as gross as the first one.
No, the first one definitely. But I like that you're I'm taking them at their word that they said this is no rush versus I was reading into it well, what do you mean no rush? You know what I mean? It's it's kind of you're sure. Is this the Massachusetts sure? Is this a mid-rush? Right. And I'm thinking, is this a friendly manager no rush or is this a jerk face manager no rush, where it's like, if I don't see that you read this immediately and respond back, yep, I'll take care of it first thing, like whatever, like you know what I mean? Like I was doing the reading into it thing. So I like that we had a different perspective on this one, because I like your perspective better.
Oh my God, I love this game so much. Okay, so the sender thoughts would be, right? So the manager, the sender would be that they're being considerate. Like they are not putting this as a rush, and they're getting it done when they, right? Like, so they're just no like, I am not putting that pressure on you. Yeah. Like, I don't expect you to be online at 9 p.m. I'm not, right? Like, I understand you may see when I'm sending this, right? So like, there's a good in their intention, but the receiver, if they're reading it at 9 p.m. will be like, I cannot enjoy the rest of my evening now, because now I know that this thing that is waiting for me the next day.
I'm a little bit like that person. Oh, I think that says a lot about like your work trauma stuff too, like how your work culture, more like what your work culture is like.
Yes,
for sure.
And how that it does assume that you read it at 9 p.m. Okay, next scenario.
I love it.
Okay, so in polite or not, a colleague calls you directly. No text ahead of time, no Slack heads up, just a call out of nowhere.
Okay. I'm not answering that.
I think we know. I think we know the answer to this one too.
Yeah. I mean, and this is exactly why I didn't share my number with anybody. Anybody contacted me, like they were like friend, like I formed friends, believe it or not. I had like a couple people who could tolerate me, and I did. So they had my cell phone number, but like, this is why I don't share, because then I'm like, they're going to see, like, there are crazy people, Amber, who are going to see, I'm not responding to their Slack. I'm not responding to their, and they're going to be like, well, what the heck? They're going to try like, that's why I don't share. That's, I didn't do the phone directory thing. I didn't do none of that. I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to have my number.
You are making yourself sound like you are a digital etiquette ogre. Like, you're just like,
well, because I know, I think people like the digital me, but then like the me like that, like, if we had a work event or like, somebody had to travel and they were like in our office or something, and like we were hosting them, whatever, I think they were like a little like, oh, you're not the like little smiley face person that you are on Teams or Slack or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to get work done, and I'm trying to get work done now. But like, I need something for you, and sometimes I have to like sugarcoat it. Did you have to sugarcoat stuff, Amber? Did you ever feel like you had to sugar? Yeah. So I was like constantly sugarcoating things to try to get
sugarcoating or covering my behind. Or like there was
I had to do that too. Yeah.
Different. Or sometimes I had to be firm. Sometimes, right? Like there so many different ways to communicate that it really depended on who I. So there, no, I cannot
so much time just like thinking this stuff.
Yes, like, yes, and so I can't say that I just have like I certainly have stylings.
I do. Yeah, I have a style. Yes,
and if my style is stripped, I'm pissed off. Ooh, you done messed up.
Yeah,
right? Like
no kidding.
Like if I don't even have if I don't even have the energy to give you an emoji or an exclamation point, I mean that's like baseline for me is exclamation. And if you got none of that,
that's like, and like this is like work. This is like work style, right? Like my personal style is totally different. Like that is me, but work stuff, that's not me. And I like you're right. You didn't get a smiley face from me, or I didn't heart your last message. You know there's something wrong, because like you were on my bad list for something.
So this calling me directly is like very similar. Well, I mean, okay, this is worse to me than the no information calendar invite, because
way worse. Yeah, are you kidding? No,
way worse. Guarantee if you're calling and I didn't answer, I'm going to come back and tell you I was taking a shit. That's why you couldn't reach me. Like, I'm going to make it uncomfortable. Okay, so if the colleague is calling, they are thinking that it's faster than typing it out. And as the receiver, if somebody calls, then it's someone is dead or I'm fired, possibly both.
Dead would be my first reaction. Yeah, dead.
Okay, so you send a detailed Slack message, right? Laying out a problem and a proposed solution. Oh yeah, this is us, right?
Totally us, yeah.
Yep. Your coworker responds with a thumbs up emoji.
Okay. Honestly, I'm going to say it's polite. Now, would I want something else? I would want something else. I would want the courtesy of like, wow, thanks, or something, like anything. Like, but like at the same time, I'm also like, good enough for me. Like, I got to move on to the next thing.
Yep.
But like a small portion of me would have like some recognition for my extremely detailed like solution here that I know you're not going to get anything better than this from anybody else here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but that's like just a small, tiny part of me that's like looking for, sometimes like I need some validation, but like not all it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. It's like a very small section of me, but like this, totally fine. I'm okay. This is polite.
Yeah, this is polite to me as well. Like, I don't really care. Like, that was my choice to put all the details in. And I probably like I don't expect that to, you know, elicit something from, like, if it is meant to just give them the details, and we can avoid a phone call, and we can avoid, because I gave them the details like in that message, right? Then we're good. Unless I need something from them, and I'm going to say that, like, it doesn't sound like I asked for something. I just gave them details.
Yeah. True.
So a thumbs up is polite to me.
I'm okay with that. Yes.
Yep. Okay. So then, yes. And so we are in the same line as what the responder thinking is that it's acknowledged, agreed, moving on. That's all that we need. Right. And, but the sender, right. If we are the sender of this message, which we have, right, then did they even read it? Do they hate my idea, or do they hate me? Because they didn't engage with the like a human. They just kind of ignored the message. So it depends on, I guess, the connection that you have to effort. And so if you are somebody who, I can see that, I can totally see, like, to your point, you said there was a tiny part of you that felt that I would like some acknowledgement that you.
I think like more like, because I'm with you. Normally I end those kinds of things. Like, what do you think? Like, do you have another idea? Like, maybe we need to like, you know,
leaving it open. Yeah.
Leaving it open. So like having some sort of like reaction is wrong because I gave the reaction, but having some response is like, there's a small part that wants like a slight response back, maybe more of a like, did you, like, to this person, did you read it? Did you read? Or are you just like, whatever? Like, I don't know. But at the same time, like, me, the for real me would be like, well, I don't care either.
Right. I think that the did you read it, did you even read it, only comes up if we're in said meeting that maybe need to be scheduled and they act like they've never heard this before. Like,
oh yeah. Or this is like a group project and you're like, you know, which part do you want to take ? And they do thumbs up. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to like open that can of worms. It's like, whew.
You just escalated the scenario into
this went from 0 to 1,000 like real fast.
Real fast. Okay. A coworker leaves you a voicemail, a full voicemail with details. So this is like our skit. So this one is just like, so what did you think of our skit?
Honestly, I'd probably be like, polite is fine. I wouldn't be offended by it because I also have worked with some people who are much older than me who did the voicemail stuff and who were not afraid to leave voicemails. If I ever had to call and leave I'm like, nah, I'm just not leaving a voicemail. But like the fact that you left a voicemail means it's like you thought it was important enough to do that. Like, okay, I'll listen to it. Would I prefer an IM or something? 1,000% yes. But like, I'm not going to be offended that you didn't do it. So
yeah, I'm going to say like, I don't like it. But I don't think it's impolite. Yeah, I think it's polite.
Yes.
I would have to agree with that, especially I can get what I need from that with the way that voicemails can be transcribed. So with a transcription record, that I can just take
good point.
And then I can get what I need from it. And so having that, like, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't really care. So as long as I can get it in the format that I need, then just let them do what they're going to do. So what they think is that the coworker, they want to make sure that you have everything that you need, right? So they're just making sure that they're laying it all out. And then what we might think as the listener is, why would you do this to me?
Yes.
Right?
I can empathize with that
yes.
response.
Yeah, make it awkward. Make it awkward. taking a shit. Okay. All right. We're on to our last one, and polite or not. Okay. So someone replies to your email by picking up the phone and calling you to discuss it.
Impolite. No.
Crossing a line.
Yeah, crossing a line. What that, and especially depending on what the subject is, I'm establishing a boundary here with this individual. And like, I want it in writing that like, I'm not going to go for this thing anymore. And you're calling me. I'm like, why aren't you putting it in writing? Like, I immediately get suspicious. So I'm going to say not okay. Not okay.
Yeah, not okay. I also like my litmus test here is that if you have to start a conversation with a justification as to why you're doing something, I feel like there's an opportunity for rework.
Yeah.
Because if that person, because I'm imagining in this scenario, right?
Yeah.
That this email has started. So you've already set the tone for how the communication style would work via email.
Yes.
They pick up the phone and they call you. And my experience has been is that I thought that it would just be easier to have a conversation. And if you have to start a call or an email with that justification, I'm moving this to email, right? Like, then there's some suspicion there for you understanding that you are changing the tactic. You are changing the role, which offers that opportunity for rework. And so I have been guilty of that, right? Where I have led meetings and things with justifications or emails with justifications. But that was an opportunity for me, right? Like I knew that I was like, hey, look, I'm changing the format. Here's some context as to why, all this stuff. Or something in the email like triggered them to be like, I don't want to type this out.
Yeah. It's really telling too that like my initial reaction was like shenanigans, right? Like I want to get this off the record because I always consider phone calls like people being able to use that as like off the record conversations. And for me, I'm like, no, you're always on the record, but now I don't have the proof, right? Now I don't have it in writing. And so like,
well,
really
you do with a transcript. Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah. I've not had one like that, but yeah, no, that's very true. Like, and I would always follow up, but yeah, it really says something, right? About like the culture people have been working at if they're like immediately like, I need documentation for this. Like, But I'm curious about the context for this one because like, I think like both of ours were kind of like negative in this. Like, did you say this was polite or not? I said not. What did you say?
No, I think it's impolite.
Yeah.
I think it's impolite. And my reasoning for why it's impolite is that it's not that they did the call. It's that they cold called from an email. So they felt that they saw this as a permission that I have your attention already.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to call you, and I consider that impolite. Okay, so the caller could have thought that this is more efficient than an email chain, just like we had supposed, right? And then us as the receiver is I wrote it all down for a reason. I had a whole plan. So this person is calling to like, do you need to talk about the thing like because you don't agree? Right. So like to your point,
disruption
we're suspect of like you want changing to have a conversation because you're changing tactics. Yeah. So, okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. This was today's polite or not game. And so
I loved it.
And so join us on the subreddit if you played along on the podcast and let us know kind of where you felt. So I'm going to put these scenarios. I'm going to load them on the
great idea.
Load them and keep them there. And so, so from a coaching perspective, though, if you are, like, this one's a little challenging because we talked about all different kinds of scenarios, and so,
and there's like a huge range of how you could like interpret something, and it really depends a lot on the individual. So, like how do you do that? How do you like do a coaching thing for this? Oh, I'm so interested.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's a little challenging because of the different, I think it is more of reflection activities and reflection questions about
that's a good idea.
How you see yourself at work, how you want to see yourself at work, how you feel like your actions are aligning with who you want to be at work. Do you want to be the person that is firm, rigid, and has people follow what you said? Or are you someone who is adaptable? And that because you give folks that attention to be adaptable, you expect it of others, but are you communicating that? Right. So it's really a lot of questions around, what's your communication style? And are you communicating these? Because I don't think that they can become boundaries, right? But I think that they do fall pretty strongly in the preference realm. And so then how do you communicate preferences in a maybe stronger way to go, you're going to get a better response from me if it's done like this, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
A lot of times it can easily be avoided with a question. Like, what is your preference? Like, I have this information to share, right? Would you like it on IM, email, or would you like to have a call? And then
why don't people just ask? That's a great idea.
Ask instead of just doing the thing that you want to do. I'm all over the place because I feel like I need a situation that tethers. And this is multiple scenarios, right? And multiple. True. So it does, I think it's just a real general question about like, what reflection activities are you doing? That kind of like, what kind of worker? How do you see yourself? Well, I feel like we have given ourselves a lot of material to talk about, and I would really, really love to know what you, dear listeners, have felt about what we've talked about today. Are there things that we missed? How did you land yourself on polite or impolite game? So head over to our subreddit, because that's really where we are engaging in a deep dive of these conversations. And we are not offended by emoji responses or even meme responses. So if you don't want to share words and you just want to pop a picture of how you feel, that is acceptable. That is polite. That is polite, because
we'll allow it.
Recognize our environment. And so again, we have TikTok socials, Instagram socials, and YouTube socials that we are also active, and love your participation and engagement there. But again, we're heavily promoting our subreddit because we just have the ability to converse easier there, and kind of share polls and, questions, and really kind of engage with you on the content as if we were all having the conversation together. And so, so thank you for being here. This is Sanity Pending Podcast. I am Amber, and this is Holly. And remember, if you've not throat punched someone this week, which I did already on this call, it's been a good week. So I guess we're having a bad week, Holly.
We've been throwing hands today.
We've been throwing hands today. So thank you for being here. Have a good one. Bye.